Yeah, title checking Elliot Wilson, man. It's always special. The first time I get to interview an artist, this is going to be the first of many, man, because she's leading up right now, man. Tappin' is like a third hit in her very short, illustrious career. Got a big remix she just dropped. Saweetie's here. What's up, Saweetie?
Hey, what's up, Elliot?
Respect to you, man. I don't want you to be mad at me. I got to be honest off the rip. I'm not a day one fan. I'm a new fan. You know what I'm saying? I'm finally really connecting to your movement. I'm going to tell you what it was. It wasn't even just tap in. It was the Pretty B Freestyle. I really like the Pretty B Freestyle. I just felt like you just had a different type of like confidence, and like it was a little more laid back in your cadence. Like, you know, talk about that. Like, how do you feel like you're developing, looking at yourself, being critical of yourself? How do you think you've become better as an artist?
So Pretty B Freestyle is actually a reflection of my earlier work. So I love just rapping straight through and, you know, listen to my fans. And I think there was a certain disconnection with some of my music, because making music, you know, sometimes for commercial use, I do have bigger plans for my brand, was a struggle for me as a writer. So I really just enjoy just writing straight through a beat that I feel in my soul. Like Pretty B Freestyle, you can feel I always know it's a good record when you can feel the soul of the beat before the words even come on.
Yeah.
So it's like,
I mean, when you said Big Mama, I'm a shit talker, like the way you came in the track, it was like, okay.
Well, my nickname, my family calls me Big Mama because I let it eat. So it was just a funny way of flipping it for me. But I think it's just getting more in touch with just the reason why I fell in love with hip hop and the reason why I fell in love with rap. Because while it is important to make songs, you know, that takes me worldwide, it's important to, you know, stay connected to the roots. So Pretty B Freestyle was just something, I think it was a more elevated version of the car raps I used to do.
Okay, yeah. So the car raps was your foundation. Like, talk to me about that. Like, how did that start? Like, what exactly were the car raps?
Car raps was, I didn't have money for a studio, and I got tired of paying for a studio because a lot of people don't know, if your engineer is not good, it sucks recording. Like, you just can't get, nothing sounds good. So
I always talk to Wale about that. Wale always has engineer problems. He's always like,
well, I'm gonna tell Wale that, because I got some good engineers now. Engineers made, like a bad engineer really made me hate it. I hated to record, and I felt like I was wasting my money. Yeah. So I was like, I graduated USC, bachelor. I'm like, okay, USC, like I ain't trying to go into the field like white collar, blue collar. So how can I get my music out there? Instagram, Twitter. Yeah. Videos, car raps. I was like, I'm gonna rap in my car. And the reason why I rapped in my car is because I was couch surfing in LA, and I would be embarrassed to like play my music loud at my cousin or my partner's house. So I was like, my car was like my sanctum, like my privacy. So that's the reason.
Like your studio, you made it your studio.
Yeah, it was like my studio.
Yeah. And then that's how Icy Girl came? That was originally a freestyle, or how did Icy Girl?
Yeah, Icy Girl, I believe, was my last freestyle. And when I mean freestyle, because I know you were part of the generation that came before me, I feel like it's slowly becoming just a term where there's no hook, no chorus. Yeah. So it's like, it wasn't a freestyle about what y'all used to, but it was definitely like a Saweetie type of freestyle.
Yeah. And then obviously people know that you have, so you said it, like you take hits and you flip them and you make your own hits. Like, if you see Icy Girl, you hear My Neck, My Back first, then Icy Girl. Freak a Leak, My Type. Blow the Whistle, Tap In. Like, why do you think that's become your formula, and what is it? Why are you able to make that work?
This conversation is a conversation I really would like to really hone into after this new body of work, because the struggle for me was I felt like producers weren't able to find what sound good under my voice. So I'm gonna do what I know. And I'm gonna do I'm gonna find a beat that I'm familiar with, which is why I flip the beats to make sure that I'm comfortable with it. Icy Girl was an accident. My Type was an accident because my lead single was emotional, not My Type. And then here comes Tap In. Tap In was intentional though. So I feel like with this new body of work, I do have a lot of original beats. So I'll see, you know, which ones raise their hand, because I definitely feel like I have a gift for flipping beats, but now I think I finally found my sound.
Dope, dope. And I know one thing you're doing is torturing your fans with this Back to the Streets record, man. What's why are you doing this to your day ones? Your day ones is irate. Like, I had to go out searching around, and that snippet out there is kind of hard, man. Back to the Streets.
Yeah, something that me and Tim did in Miami. I think.
Wait. She said Tim all casual. You talking about Timbaland on production?
The Timbaland, yes.
Wow.
And that's actually something that we did 2 years ago. It was supposed to make the ICEP, but the problem with me is I'm gonna save it for later type of person, whether if it's an outfit, a song, just something, like, but I gotta stop doing that because I'll save it and then forget about it. So it's like for the first two projects, I was like, I'm gonna just save these records for later because I have to drop an album after this. Yeah. So Back to the Streets was for the ICEP, but I thought I was gonna have the debut right after that. So I was like, let me just save this for my album. So I have a lot of great records that I did not release because I kept trying to save them for later, but I'm not doing that no more.
You're gonna let it all out with this album. But why did you decide to start sharing little clips of Back to the Streets? And are you surprised how big it got? Like, it's become this thing where your fans just won't let go until they finally get the final product.
Well, in quarantine, I felt like, me as well as some of my peers, we were kind of like iffy on what songs we should drop. So, I was just, testing the dope.
That's in the marketplace.
And Back to the Streets was one of the records that I tested, and it did the best out of all the ones that I tested. So, I
saw something you do with my man Fat Joe. And then right after that, Timbaland jumped on the live with him, and he was saying, you're a superstar. Like, he compared you to Missy, and he said what he liked about you is that when he worked with you, even though you're a young, upcoming artist, you had a clear vision of what you want. He was very, like, excited about that. Like, can you talk about that? Like, how you approach music, and, like, is it important to have kind of more of a clear, full vision of what you want to do when you make music?
Well, my daddy always told me, if you ain't gonna make your decision, someone gonna do it for you. So I've always had that mindset of just knowing what I want. But I felt like Tim, it was such a pleasure to work with him because he was able to get beats. We have a lot more records as well too, but he was able to find beats that matched my voice. And when it came to like the songwriting, the song structure, I'm very like picky, and I just know what I want, and I know what I like, and I know what my voice sounds good over. So I feel like Pretty Bitch Music is a representation of where I finally see myself being as an artist. Like, this is the first year I feel like an official artist. I have a new management, new team, a lot of new creators around me, and I feel like the people around me finally get my vision.
So what is that vision? What do you think people, it's tap in, right? I think we're finally all tapping in. Like, what is it that makes you unique? Because the thing is, now you look at the landscape in a very good, positive way. We probably have embraced more female rappers than we ever have in ever, probably, like a wide range. Mm-hmm. So what do you make of that? Why do you think that's finally opened up? And why do you think that you've finally been able to carve your lane in that?
I feel like that's a two-part question, because for me, I feel like it's a different story. But speaking in general, I feel like because I did break on social media, I feel like social media has allowed us to showcase our talent, and we're able to show people, hey, we can curate. We can have our own fan bases that ride for us, that buy from us, that stream us, and we can break these records. Like, a lot of females is doing a lot of dope things this year, so shout out to them. But when it comes to like me as an artist, I had to do a lot of self-reflection because Icy Girl like catapulted me into the music industry. I wasn't expecting to get the recognition that I first got when I first dropped the video. Like, it went from car rap to SoundCloud, and I was like, okay, let's shoot a video for it. We shot the video. Like, the whole week after that, I was getting coverage from XXL, Vibe, big magazines that I looked up to as a kid. So I'm just like, oh my gosh, all this attention. I'm getting shows, I'm getting hostings, and I'm just like traveling. But I'm like, for me, I needed artist development. That's something that I needed. I don't think I had the proper guidance in the beginning, as far as music and sound goes. But like I said, I feel like Pretty Bitch Music is finally like, Saweetie is here. Saweetie is an artist, and she ain't going nowhere.
Absolutely. We ain't getting no more 7-8 song projects. This gonna have 15 joints, 15
or more.
A body of work.
A body of work that, the girls, the boys, my fans can live with. And I feel like they're gonna be really proud of me because, I'm singing a lot more too. And,
I saw something you said, like, a lot of songs, I think it was I forgot the song. Maybe the other song with Quavo that you feel like you don't never get enough credit for the singing, the harmonies, and how you're challenging yourself with melodies.
Well, I used to sing in a church, so I've always been like I can't sing like Whitney, but I can sing, like Drake. So I could hold me a little tune, you feel me? But I'm doing a lot more singing. There's like a lot of more singing like type melodic choruses that kind of carry the song. So I'm excited to share that as well. Even back to the streets. I think that's why I like it, because it's so melodic, but it's not really singing. It's just, a vibe.
And what do you make of like with the Cardi Meg record, the WAP record? Like, it seems like everybody's talking about female rappers and sexually explicit content, right? Like sometimes you get a little raunchy with your thing. Like, how do you approach that? Do you feel like you just whatever comes from the heart you should let out there, or like you put boundaries on it? Like, how do you feel about it when it comes down to like sexual explicit content in your music?
I mean, sexual explicit content. How did you get here and how did I get here? I mean, come on now.
49, so that was a long time ago. I don't even know. That's a long time ago.
But we all get nasty. So it's just like, I feel like men speak freely of how many sexual partners they may have or what they gonna do to a woman. But when a woman does it, she's shunned. But I'm so happy that, like I said, we have our fan bases that support us. I feel like a woman, we're artists. So if we feeling a little freaky, you can't help that a freaky record go #1. That's where the people come in, and the people like it. So for all the critics gonna be the critics, and the critics just gonna have something to say. But I always feel like an artist should speak from their heart, and they shouldn't hold back.
Absolutely, absolutely. How rewarding was it, like being from the Bay, to like connect with the OG Too Short, flip his record the great way, get his cosign, and it really works. Like, how cool is that? Like, to really pay homage to the hometown in that sense.
It's amazing. And what's crazy is, I touched a really special sacred record. So
yeah,
a lot of people was, bothered by that. But the fact that he gave me his blessing and that he loves it, it just lets me know that it's cool. And just coming from where I'm from, I had to get the blessing before I put it out. So it is what it is.
I think you even approached it that way. I wanted to ask, like, why did you begin the record kind of with his statement, right? Like don't ever stop if you want to be on top. Like, why was it important to start the record with that statement?
Because that's the big homie telling me, don't never stop until you want to be on top. And then he co-signs, lets people know, bitch. What's my favorite word?
You co-signing some other guys on this remix, man. Like, I heard this remix is coming. I work at a DSP, and then it's like, it's coming out this Friday. No, it's coming out this Friday. Like, a little bit of a delay. Like, talk about this AllStar remix you got, and why did you pick these 3 particular artists?
I mean, it's hard getting, 3-4 superstars in a room. So I imagine it's even harder getting them into a booth. So I'm very grateful, and I feel blessed that, the record was hot, but now it's going to be even hotter because Jack, the baby, Post Malone is on it. Yeah. And I did my thing with the My Type remix with Janae, Young Miami, Becky G, Tiwa. But I come from like 90% of my family is males. Like, I'm really a tomboy. I clean up well. So it's like I wanted to do something, for my tomboy side and for my dad. My dad's like, when are you gonna make a song for me? So those are some of his favorites.
It's very unique the way each artist, a lot of times remixes don't stand out, but I think what stands out about this is that each of the guest artists approach the track in a very different, unique way.
Yeah, and I feel like that's what makes it so special. I feel like it's a moment when I'm able to get Post on a beat. Like, that's not his normal BPM, but he did it and he made himself comfortable and he killed that shit. And the baby gonna do what the baby do. He wrote that shit in the beginning. And then it was nice to get Jax, he like sealed it. Like, he was a cherry on top, he got the little 2-step type of verse. So I feel like every section just represents the baby's twerking, Post Malone take you to outer space, put on for the bad bitches. And then Jack, he represent for the 2-steppers and for the vibers out there.
You talk about family and tomboy background. Like, I got to get clarity for the last time. All the all-stars in this family tree, this lineage. Like, I know Gab Union, I heard they told me, like, and also just people behind the scenes, the sports organizations. Can you break down everybody that deserves the shout out? Can we be clear on who is the family tree, the DNA that helped make this artist?
So I call her Nikki, but Gabby is my daddy's cousin.
Okay.
Zay is, we grew up with him in the church, so he's my cousin. My auntie works for the Raiders. She's president of ticket sales. My uncle coaches for the Philadelphia Eagles. My pawpaw was a linebacker for the 49ers, and he was the first team to go to the Super Bowl. But I feel like when people see that, they assume connections, they assume help. But what I will say about my family is we're hard workers and we're all self-made. Like I can't wait. Like I really want to do a not a documentary, but like a Get Rich or Die Trying. You feel me? Like a movie, not a docu-series, but like a movie on my life, because I feel like God has made me go through shit. He's put me in places. He's let me meet people whose lessons I now carry into my musical career. Because I'd be like, even as a kid, I'd be like, God, what's going on? But I feel like those pivotal moments made me into the woman I am today, and it's helpful.
I saw some too. I think it was with Nick Cannon. You were saying that like you're using this time to really go back and study some of the all-time greats like Jimi Hendrix, Ozzy Brothers, Michael Jackson, Supreme, Shaka Khan. Like, why is that important? I feel like a lot of times artists of today may not be as knowledgeable about what came before them. Why is that important to you to connect?
For me, it's really important because I wasn't a shy little kid, but I was quiet. So I struggle with, it's funny because I'm a writer, so it's like, but I write best when it's pen and pad. But in person, like I have a hard time expressing myself. Sometimes my emotion doesn't show. So the reason why I study the greats is because when they sing it on a record, when they're performing, they leave their sweat, their heart, and their emotions on that mic or on the floor. And eventually, like, I want to get to that point so where you can just feel it. Like, some of these people ain't even alive today, but I'm watching their videos and their energy is so strong that I'm feeling it through the screen. So that's what when I say I have a clear vision for myself, that's why, like, I went through the shit that I went through, and I've made these mistakes publicly, but it's going to make me into like a greater performer. I feel like my mistakes make me into a perfectionist. So just by studying them, I'm able to, it's like free game. It really is. As long as you really like paying attention, they're not vocally saying it, but if you're paying attention, you know that that's not somebody that just rolled out of bed and, just hit the stage. No, that's practice. Practice, practice, practice.
Why do you think music was your calling? Like a lot of times people like probably the biggest challenge you face is people recognizing that, no, this is what you want to do. Like, this is what you are here to do. Like, why do you think music has been your calling? Why were you so determined to make it as a musician?
What's crazy is, so I wanted to be a beautician or I wanted to be a politician. Cause like, I love as a little girl, like doing my hair before school. I like doing my partner's hairs. And in school, I also liked the debate club. I liked, I love to debate and argue. So, but then when it came down to like looking at the careers and what I'd have to do to get there, I'm like, I ain't doing that. I'm like, I don't want to do that. But so a lot of people don't know this. My grandparents are pastors. And we were at a women's retreat. My grandma hosts one every year. And a prophet came and she said that she gave me a word and she basically prophesied that I would be successful in a musical career. And at the time I'm thinking, I like to write poems, but I can't sing. Like, so I don't know what she's talking about. Years down the line, I eventually realized that hip hop and rap is basically poetry on a beat. So I'm like, okay, this is probably what she meant. But literally like music just like arouses me. It like gets my blood going. So I always felt like, yes, I love to create music. I love to perform. I love to be who I am, but I also feel like I have purpose. And I feel like my purpose is to give women confidence. My purpose is to be a light of positivity, a light to show that girls who look like me, that they can do whatever they want to do. And just to make sure that I'm giving back to the people who look like me and giving back to the places where I'm from, because I did move around a lot as a kid. So I definitely feel like there's definitely purpose behind the reason why I am who I am today and where I'm going.
Last question. I heard you say your favorite song is Tiptoes. So is Quavo gonna make this album? I mean, what's going on? You gonna make the album?
We gonna see. He told me, he's a musical genius himself.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, that's what I actually meant to ask. Like, what you said earlier about the path, like getting to know Quavo through the years. Like when Migos first came out, Versace, I didn't know that they was, you know, playing the long game, and I didn't know how smart Quavo was. I didn't know how driven he was. Like, you know, and then see them develop and become the stars they are. That's got to be inspiring to have a partner who is of the same cloth as you.
Yeah, that's my baby. He told me he got something better than Tiptoe, so we gonna see.
We're gonna see. Well, we can't wait, man. We finally gonna get this Pretty Bitch. I'm not gonna ask you for a date. I'm just gonna keep the fingers crossed. Pretty Bitch music is coming.
Pretty Bitch music on the way, definitely fall quarter. I wanted it to be a summer project because I'm a summer baby, but you know, we working over here. We swapping out songs every other week because I'm in the studio a lot. So I'm recording, and the more I record, the more I get better. And I want to make sure that this just cements me as an artist in the game, because I'm here for a good time and a long time.
Let's do it. Thank you. I hope to do this again with you very soon. Continued success.
All right. Thank you, Elliot. Appreciate you.
Yeah. Title check in.